Hello friends, I thought while I did my thrift haul, oh my gosh, with this huge hulking, I could tell you, I don't know what to call this, what I've been dealing with, what's been happening. I will say this is why I always say, friends, get a P.O. box. Not that that can save you from this issue. I'm not really sure. But if you are new here, my name is Nikki. I have been a part-time reseller for over 10 years. I started on eBay long ago. And when I started selling on eBay, it did not even occur to me to get a P.O. box because I was just like, I'm a small-time seller, whatever, no big deal. I buy things from the thrift store. I sell them on eBay. And I did that for a very long time. And then I started selling on Poshmark right around the time I started this channel. I started selling on Poshmark in 2019. So my order of platforms is eBay 16 years ago, which makes me feel so old. That's when I opened my account. Amazon after that. Then I started selling on ThredUp, and then I started selling on Poshmark and The RealReal. And then my newest platform is Whatnot, doing live selling there about 3 years ago. So when I first started selling on eBay, I had no YouTube. Maybe there was reselling YouTube. I didn't know about it. I didn't discover reselling YouTubers until around the time I started this channel. That's kind of what inspired me to start this YouTube channel. I'm just giving you a little bit of background so you understand my logic when I tell you these crazy ASS stories. Can you tell I am the mom to young children? Anytime I want to cuss, I'm trying to eliminate cussing, eradicating it altogether. But anytime I want to do it, even if they're not around, I just spell it out. I feel like those are my stepping stones to just completely eradicating it. I don't even cuss that often, but I just want to give you some background before we get into what's going on. So I never had a YouTube. The reason I started this YouTube channel is because around like 2018, I started watching some reselling YouTubers and I was like, I could do this. And I could put my own spin on it because I'm a little quirky. I'm a little weird. My oldies but my goldies know that. Only children unite. We're a little bit weird, but so what? So it's like I could just be me. And my thing will be that I will share the reality of reselling. I'm going to share the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. That's like my tagline here on this channel. So that being said, I debated making this video, but I think it could be helpful to a lot of you because you need to be safe. And there's just weird stuff going on, and I want you all to be safe. And so I would consider this like not the bad and the ugly of reselling, because I said I share the good, the bad, the ugly, but it's just in between. Like I said, the in between. So let me show you one item, because I always say I'm going to show items and I never show you anything, and I just go on with the story. This is a Ralph Lauren little girl's dress. It is 100% cotton. Made in Vietnam, size 8. I don't pick up a lot of kids clothing, but I will pick up the like mid-range to higher end stuff. Like at one of my consignment stores where I live, I found a Dior little girl's dress. It was like size 4 to 6. It was only $20. That thing retailed for $800. You better believe I picked it up. But I'm not picking up like a ton of Carters, stuff like that, because it's just so affordable already that the resale's not there. But I actually do pretty well selling kids Ralph Lauren on ThredUp. So everything you're seeing I got from the Goodwill outlet, and I paid $2 or less. I usually just round to $2 because that's how it works. I average all the items together. So it was like $2.15. So I'll send that to ThredUp. I've sold this exact Ralph Lauren dress on ThredUp before last year, and I got paid out $21. So I will take that. So I'm going to send that to ThredUp. I probably could sell that. I don't know. I just don't really like selling. I don't like photographing and listing kids' clothing because it's just not a ton of profit, but it makes me wonder if maybe I'll list that myself. I'll keep you posted. Okay, background done. I have been selling to resellers. If you would have asked me like 5 years ago, Nikki, would you sell to resellers? I'd be like, absolutely not. They're too picky. They want things super cheap, which I get, you know. I am not slandering any of you, but I just knew that I myself have been a reseller for over 10 years. If I'm going to buy from another reseller, I want the best deal possible. They know the game. They know I'm trying to resell this stuff. So I even said, if you go back and watch some of my old videos, I'm like, I'm not interested in selling to resellers. I don't want to do it. That was part of the reason I kind of took a break from Whatnot, is because I noticed the majority of the audience was resellers, and they were like lowballing me on everything because they wanted to take that stuff and resell it themselves. But as I became more experienced and understood that diversification in reselling, in my opinion, is key to make the most money out of reselling. That's why I always say, try to sell on more than one platform, try different ways of reselling. If you are new here, I sell through consignment, I sell direct to thrift stores, I list things myself, I live sell. And so I was like, you know what, Nikki, this was like around 2 years ago. I was like, why don't I try selling to resellers? Like, it won't be as much money as listing it myself or selling it on ThreadUp or the RealReal. But the thing that I knew is that I could get very quick cash, right? So if I go to the Goodwill outlet and I'm paying $2 per piece and I'm charging someone like $7, $8, $9, $10 per piece, it's quick. You know, I give them the 10 items, they give me the cash. I don't have to photograph, I don't have to list. All I'm doing is the fun part, sourcing and getting quick cash. So I decided in around 2023, 2024 that I would start trying it out slowly. And I have done that, but there have been some safety concerns that have come up. So I think I'm going to like really, I don't even do it that often, friends. Like maybe once or twice a month, I'm selling a wholesale bundle to a reseller. So if you join my email list, one of the perks of joining my email list is that if I have wholesale bundles available, I offer it to them first. Because of the stories I'm going to tell you, these have been occurring over years. I have really slowed down. So basically the way it works is if you join my email list, it's free. I only email you once a week. I always link it down below. I send you a free ebook I created. It's a, what is it called? 100 brand BOLO guide. So you join the email list, and as a thank you for joining, I send you that PDF book for free. I created it last year. I'm going to be updating it next year. And it's nice because it's electronic. It's PDF, so you can take it while you're sourcing. And so, yeah. Okay. So then one of the emails that goes out after you've joined my email list is that I say, hey, if you're interested in wholesale bundles, reach out to me. So over the years, by the way, we're up to 2,000 people on the email list. Thank you to all of you that have joined the email list. Over the years, I have had people email me, and we've done wholesale deals. It's been great. Even before this first story I'm going to tell you, before I had my email list, I would mention, like I said, 2-3 years ago, I was like, I'm open to selling to resellers. Reach out to me. These are like older videos. I'll leave my email. All I put is my Gmail. Okay. I put my Gmail in the description box. This was like 3 years ago, in the description box of the video. I, on more than one occasion, and I don't know why, but it's always when it's a male. I'm not saying that men are all this way, obviously. We don't have many men that watch this channel anyways. But it's always the male reseller that reaches out. They'll email me. This happened 3 years ago. I'm not going to name names, obviously. This person emailed me. He happened to be a male. And he says, hey, I see that you're in this area in Los Angeles. I am located here. I won't say where, but in the LA area. Can we just meet up, and instead of me having to pay for shipping, I can just pick it up locally? Now, this was me 3 years ago, okay? I know some of you are going to be upset that I met with this person. Okay, I know that. I would never do this now. The stories get progressively worse throughout this video. The stories get worse from these people, but Nikki gets smarter, okay? So Just a little insight for any of you that want to sell to resellers. Some wholesalers will sell things and the shipping price is baked into the price. I cannot do that because my cost of goods here, the lowest I can get something is $2. And I'm already not making that much profit. I'm making like $4 or $5 per item selling it to resellers. So I usually have the person pay shipping. It's just, that's how it has to be. A lot of times I'm shipping coats and jackets and shoes, and I'm giving people really good deals for paying $6, $7, $8, $9 a piece. So I'm not gonna cover in the shipping because shipping, I just sent out a bundle of 200 items the other day to Alaska. I'm not paying that shipping cost. And she literally in her box got some amazing stuff, but I had to break it up anywho, okay? So I was like, I get it. This was one of the first times I had done wholesale, and I was thinking to myself before I responded to him, I'm like, how does he know which area I'm in Los Angeles? At this point, I had never said like what area I live in any video. I am very cautious about my privacy for my family's sake, for my sake. So I'm thinking, that's strange, but maybe I had thought then, I was thinking maybe I had just said like, oh, or maybe he had watched videos where I had sourced in this area. I don't know. So I was like, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I always meet in public places. I sell a lot of bulkier items on Facebook Marketplace. So we always meet at like a Starbucks, a Walmart, a very busy public place. And I don't just have people meet me at my car. We're not doing that. Because people can still like be cuckoo. Like I've said, you all probably think I'm paranoid. I've watched too much true crime. I don't want you like meeting me at the back of a parking lot with the trunk open. No, I literally go to the front of these places, like where everyone is. One time I had to like roll a dresser. My husband and I did it. He's like, couldn't I have just done this myself? I was like, no, you could just stay right here, and I rolled it to the front, okay? So this guy and I meet at a Target parking lot. This was 3 years ago. I have to keep reiterating that because I know some of you are going to be so upset with me. And I had my Hulkin and I had he was buying 250 pieces, rolled it up right in the front of Target with my IKEA bags and everything. And when I tell you this was the most uncomfortable situation I have ever been in, and this is the moment I said I will never, ever do a wholesale deal in person again. Never. And that was the moment I decided that even if I had like a bulky item, like just yesterday I sold 10 tennis rackets that I found at the flea market. I either send my husband to do it, to like do the trade-off with the money, or he comes with me, or I'm not doing it. I'm just not. And this situation started that because he was relentless about getting my phone number. He started off normal, like, oh, he was looking through the stuff. He's like, this is such great stuff. I'd love to do like a weekly deal. And I was like, I can't supply that. Like, I'm a part-time reseller and wholesale is like a very small chunk of my business. And, I'm not interested in doing like a long-term repeated wholesale deal because like I've said, and I've been very honest with you all about that, you don't make a ton of money wholesaling to other resellers unless you have the time to do it in bulk. Like, unless you have the time to source and sell and package up and ship like 500 to 1,000 items weekly, it's really hard to make really good money wholesaling. And I just wanted it because I like to take the quick cash and then put it back into my business. So I'm telling him that. And he's like, well, really, I just wanted to meet you in person because I think you're beautiful and I would love to take you out. And I was like, oh, no. At this point, I'm with my fiance and I'm like, because he had said, like, I watch all your videos, and I'm like, he knows I'm engaged. He's seen that video. He mentioned it. And I was like, oh, no, thank you. No, thanks. And so I'm still waiting for the cash because he said, I'll bring cash. Well, let me just look through the stuff. And so I'm like, okay, as soon as he hands me the cash, I am out of here. He's like holding on to the cash, trying to talk to me. I'll spare you the details, but it was so uncomfortable. And it was honestly, how everyone says, trust your intuition. I feel like had I not suggested a very public place, that could have gone completely differently because he had sent an email saying, oh, that Target is like kind of far from me. Maybe we could just meet at this park. I look up this park. I knew I was not going to do that. I was like, absolutely not. Like, No, we're meeting at a public place. I told my husband this story. He was so mad. He was like, he didn't even know that I was doing like in-person meets selling things. He was like, I did not know you did that. I thought you were shipping everything. Like, I didn't know, like, these tennis rackets and stuff that you were selling years before you met me and while we were dating. You're actually meeting people. I was like, oh, yes. Then I know I say, like, after this, he comes with me. But really, mostly it's him taking the stuff. He's always like, where are you going with that? Like, come on, I know you're coming with me. So anyways, he was so, like... So, I'm going to spare you the boring details, but this... my intuition is telling me, had I met him at a park or something, with how aggressive he was being, asking for my number, asking if we could date, was very scary, friends. And so eventually, after like 10 minutes of acting like he's looking through my Hulkin, like he's going like so slow like this, but he's not even like picking anything up, I'm like, do you want the items? I was very direct because I was like, this is uncomfortable. And I told him this, you're making me uncomfortable. Do you want the items or not? Because I'm going to leave. So he's like, oh, fine. And he throws the money. And he's like, you're such a expletive. And before I could kindly cuss him out, he ran. Literally, like, picked up my IKEA bags and ran. He didn't even take the stuff that was in the Hulkin. I was just like, what? So I tell you that first crazy story to say, be very careful meeting people in public. I know some of you are like, Nikki, you should have known better. But I just thought, you know, we're meeting in a public place. I'm literally going to the front of the Target store. What could happen? It was very uncomfortable. So at that point, I made the decision that I will never meet someone in public without my husband, or I just send him. And that's been going on for years. Now, present day, I had someone who had joined the email list. Remember, I told you when you join the email list, automatically I have it set up that an email goes out like, I think it's after you've been on the email list for like a week or so, saying, hey, if you're interested in a wholesale, if I have it available, let me know you're interested. So I had a girl who reached out, and no, this is the third story. I'm jumping around. This is just so much going on. It's a crazy time, friends. I had someone comment, a lady comment on a video like 3 weeks ago, like, hey, I know you've mentioned wholesale in the past. I'm interested. And I actually had like 500 items that I was going to take to the thrift store. But I was like, you know what? If I could help a reseller out, this is really good stuff. She's really interested. Fine. So I said, email me. I put my email in the comment response to her, right? She immediately starts calling me. And you might be saying, hey, Nikki, how do you know that that's her calling you? Because her first and last name that's on that YouTube comment is what pops up on my caller ID on my cell phone. And I recognized the name because I had literally just responded to her comment, like 2 or 3 seconds. I had just finished typing my email and her name pops up on my cell phone. And I was like, oh no. And remember, I'm hyper vigilant about this stuff, even email after that guy, because it's just a creepy world, okay? So I'm like, oh no. I blocked her phone number immediately, and I'm like asking ChatGPT, can someone scrub your cell phone number from your email? So then, after I block her number, and I'm like talking to ChatGPT, like, how did she get my phone number? What the heck? Like, can she see my IP address? What is going on? She emails me as I'm talking to ChatGPT about her, and she was like, hey, I see you're in blah, blah, blah area in Los Angeles. Can we just meet up so I don't have to pay for shipping for wholesale? When I tell you, I like freaked out because I'm like, 1, how did you get my phone number? 2, even if you had my phone number, I told you to email me. Why are you calling my personal cell phone number? And then I have a real estate phone for just my real estate business. She then called my real estate phone. So you found 2 of my cell phone numbers. 1 is public because I do give out, you know, it's real estate. You have to give out that number. But that's why I got a separate phone and phone number for that. So then I'm like, and then she's like saying what specific area I am in Los Angeles, all from just me giving her my email address. So I blocked her on YouTube, blocked her everywhere. everywhere. I was so freaked out. And it just, when this happened 2 weeks ago, I was like talking to some of my reselling friends, and they're like, you should really make a video about this, because I cannot tell you how many times I've dealt with such weird stuff just from selling things online. And as the channel grows, I'm realizing, thank God I have a P.O. box. I'm not even going to tell you the story. I was going to tell you the story about the person who literally went to my P.O. box and waited for me to come there every day for a week. And I know this because the postal employees at my P.O. box was like, do you know this guy? He literally like stands around your P.O. box, and I was filling up your P.O. box with a couple of letters, and he was like, oh, does she come here to pick up her mail frequently? And my postmaster was telling me that the employee told him this, and the employee alerted the postmaster. I can't even talk because these stories are so creepy. Like, hey, this guy like keeps standing around, and he was asking about this P.O. box number, and I don't know who it is, but he kept saying she. You might want to alert whoever P.O. box this is, because they're definitely like staking the place out. We won't go into that. That one, police got involved. So that freaked me out. And so I wasn't going to tell you all these story times, but I think it's really important, honestly, to share this publicly. That person might still be watching. I don't know. I've blocked her everywhere. I hope, hey, Godspeed, I wish you well, but please leave me alone. That was very creepy. I don't know what your intentions are, but if someone says to email them, I don't know how you got my cell phone number, my personal non-work cell phone number, but that's not cool. Very creepy. Wish you well, just leave me alone. Like, I don't want any more stalker situations. I don't want any more creepy situations, friends. So I don't even know if I'm going to post this video. I feel like I'm all over the place. I didn't even show you my thrift haul. I was going to show you all some clothing, but I'm like, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel fitting to just be like, here's my Ralph Lauren purse or dress. And I'm like actually freaked out. So only reason if I do end up posting this, it's because a couple of my reseller friends were like, actually, you need to share this because a lot of people are not being safe while reselling. Like, a lot of you probably have your home address. Honestly, I think that's okay if you're not on social media, right? I don't know. I'm not even going to lie. I don't think it's okay. I don't care if you're a part-time seller. I don't care if you sell things like 5 times a month. I think P.O. boxes are so affordable, not where I live, but they're very affordable most of the country. Just get a P.O. box. You don't want some crazy customer. Like, God forbid you ever have to deal with the stuff I'm dealing with. And I will say, none of this started until I was on social media. Like, before I started this YouTube channel, before I had an email list, before I had an Instagram, I never had any of these problems. So that's why I'm inclined to say, like, if you're part-time and you're not on social media, you probably don't need a P.O. box, but it doesn't hurt. Do we really, this day and age, want people having access to our home address? Probably not. And take that as someone who's had their identity stolen. Like, I have been through the ringer, but it has really escalated. That's another reason I'm so heightened when things like this happen, is because I've had my identity stolen. That person went to prison because they opened accounts in my name. They copied my credit cards, went to Walmart and spent $5,000. It's all on camera. Like, this person went to prison for this. It wasn't just me. They did this to like 50 people. What they did was they broke in storage units. I had a storage unit in Hollywood at the time, and I really shouldn't have had a storage unit there. I was like in the middle of Hollywood. If you live in LA, you know what Hollywood's like. For those of you, for tourists that come here, I'm always like, please don't judge all of LA on the touristy spots that you go to, because most of LA is nothing like Hollywood. Like, people, I saw one of these girls on like TikTok or Instagram, and she's like, LA is so scary. I was in Hollywood all day, and I was like, hard stop. 99% of Los Angeles is not like Hollywood. Anyways, they broke into a ton of storage units, like literally was like hacking off our locks, stole so much stuff, was able to get like some personal information, and they just went crazy. Like on a crazy shopping spree. It was like a lot of people involved. It was insane. So that person did prison time for that. And then my identity, like in order to get all these charges off. This was a long time ago, like 10, 12 years ago. It's not like now where you can just call and say, hey, I discovered a fraudulent charge. At this time, like credit card companies would hold those charges on your account and take like months to investigate. It was a disaster, okay? So I share these stories with you not to scare you. And I honestly didn't want to share the stories because I'm like, what if these people are still watching and this upsets them? Or I don't know. Like, I don't want any issues with any of you. I know that guy from the first story, like 3 years ago, he still watches. I know that. Don't ask me how I know. I know. And I'm fairly certain this girl that I've blocked everywhere, probably, like, it's just a creepy world, okay? So I will say, like I said, since I've started this channel, it's become, and I'm not even a huge channel. Like, I don't even have 25,000 subscribers yet. But I'm noticing the weird stuff is happening more and more. And so I think I am going to scale it back on the wholesale. I am so sorry to those of you that are repeat buyers that love buying wholesale from me. But unless you've purchased from me in the past and we've had a good interaction, no issues, I'm definitely scaling that back. I almost got rid of my email list. I was talking about it with my reselling mentor. Those of you that I won't go into her stats because those of you that have been here a while, you know who I'm talking about. And she was like, you need, but she is so anti-social media. She does millions in dollars of sales every year on eBay and she has no social media. She doesn't have TikTok and she doesn't even have Facebook. Okay. She's like the oldest reseller I know. When I say oldest, I mean like doing it the longest. She's been doing it 25 plus years. Like before even eBay. And she was like, get rid of that email list. You're giving too many people personal access to you that don't need it. She was like, for real estate, I understand, you know, people need your email. They need your phone number. You need that to do deals. But she was like, these reselling people do not. She was like, I almost listened to her and deleted the whole thing. But genuinely, I love having my email list. Like 99% of you are so sweet and so kind. We converse via email. I give you tips. Like, I like having it, but I think she might be right if it keeps getting worse. But I told her, I was like, look, I think what I'm going to do first is just scale back the wholesale. Like, honestly, I didn't start getting these creepy interactions until I started ramping up wholesaling. I think, I'm just being honest, I'm making it public. I'm going to stick to listing myself, obviously. That's the way I started. Live selling, because I love live selling. And honestly, I feel like some of my live sales, for those of you that want to buy wholesale from me, you can get wholesale deals that way. Like I literally just did a Poshmark live sale where I was starting things at $10 and $15 that I got from the Goodwill outlet. So that's a great way to get wholesale deals. It's not going to be as great as buying direct from me, but I think just for my safety and sanity, because I don't know what's going on. Like I can imagine what people deal with that have like 100,000 subscribers or 500,000 subscribers. I don't know that this channel will ever get to that, but we're growing pretty quickly. And I think just for my safety and my sanity, I'm going to scale that back, see how that goes. Please be nice in the comments. I feel like if I post this video, you guys are going to be like, Nikki, you should have known better. You never should have met that man. I thought I was doing the right thing by meeting him at the front of Target. I should have known, honestly, I'm going to put myself out there. When he recommended meeting at that park that was kind of secluded, I should have known. I should have known. I should have been like, nope, no. But because we had been conversing, he seemed normal. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that, but I will do the public place. Like, I should have just listened to my intuition then. So I am aware. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to post this video, but if I do, I just wanted it to be like cautionary for all of you. I'm sure 99% of you will be totally fine. But for those of you that are watching me that have social media followings, because I know there are a lot of you that have YouTubes, TikToks, Instagrams, all that stuff, be very careful. Those people that are reselling that have social media, get a P.O. box. I don't care if you have 500 followers. I don't care if you only do 10 sales a week. Get a P.O. box if you are public facing, because it's crazy out here. I could tell you the full story on the stalker, but I don't want this. This is not that type of channel. I'm not trying to be like an expose channel. Like we could be expose about eBay, Poshmark, and platforms, but I don't I'm not trying to expose people. I'm not trying to make any of you upset. I just if I post this, I want you all to be aware and be cautious and learn from my mistakes. Like, I really do live by that tagline of my channel. I share the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So this is going to be an embarrassing one to post, but I think if it helps even one person. And one of my reselling friends was like, I didn't get a P.O. box, but I just used my office address. That is something I did like 12 years ago when I used to go into the office every day of the week. I asked my admin, because my admin would receive all the packages for my company. I was like, is it okay? I'm very honest. I was like, is it okay if I get personal packages here because I'm not at home? She was like, yeah, put it. Everybody does that. I did not know that. She's like, yeah, I receive Amazon packages, eBay packages, I receive Poshmark packages. Like, sure, just go ahead. And I was like, great. So before I even got a P.O. box, I switched it from my home to my work because my reselling mentor was like, you really shouldn't be using your home address. Like, and I was like, why? Like, nobody knows me. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have like a work Instagram. But I just listened to her. She has never steered me wrong, and I'm so glad I listened to her. So even if you don't want to get a P.O. box, maybe, I don't know, friends, P.O. boxes are really cheap now. Like, you could literally get a tiny, small P.O. box. Even where I live, you could get it for like $40. I get the bigger one, and I pay annually just because I use it all the time. But just be safe. Will I even post this video? I don't know. Did I even ask you to subscribe? If you are still here, listening to my voice, we should do a code word for this one. I feel like if you're new and you're like, what is she talking about? I always am just curious to see how many of you are actually here towards the end of the video. So I drop like a word and I'm like, if you are still here, put this word in the I was gonna say have the word be stalker, but I feel like if we put stalker in the comments too much, people will be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Put the word red. My shirt. Type the word red if you are still here and you have made it till the end and you are not judging me for making some silly mistakes over the years. Type the word red and I'll know you're a true oldie but a goldie. Subscribe if you are new and you like a person who keeps it very real about reselling. I tell you when things are good, and I tell you when things are bad, and I tell you when things are weird. Subscribe if you appreciate that. I'm also here multiple times a week, friends. I have been uploading almost daily this entire month. I'm filming this in October. It's October 13th, 14th, I don't know. It's the middle of October, and I have posted like 12 videos. I think I've missed one day this month, maybe two. I'm here multiple times a week. So if you like consistent content where you feel like you're just hanging out with a friend, subscribe, and I will see you soon with another video that's not so weird. I promise.